Building your own home is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to express your creativity and simultaneously build a space that will really work for you. And that's exactly what Mark discovered when he built his very own exceptional off-the-grid tiny house on wheels. G'day Mark, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to meet you.
Great to meet you, and I'm very excited to see your beautiful home here.
Yeah, thank you.
So first of all, what was it that inspired you to build a tiny house?
My interest probably started back when I was living in Australia, and a daughter of mine sent me an article on a guy over there that had built his tiny house, and it was a very new thing back then. There wasn't too much of it happening, and that sort of got my interest, the innovation in building a little space and what you could do. Yeah, so I originally started thinking about the tiny house idea because I was just interested in simplifying life and having a more simple lifestyle and a more minimalist sort of living, and that just really appealed to me. I had a busy career in aviation and helicopters, and it appealed to me as I was getting older and moving towards retirement that I could really simplify things, and this was a way of achieving that.
And you built this home yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I sort of started from scratch, and I had plenty of time to think about what I wanted to achieve, and so I spent a lot of time scheming and thinking and drawing sketches and trying to design it for me, and because I'm taller and it suits me and my lifestyle, so yeah.
And how did you find the process of building the home?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a learning curve, and fortunately now with YouTube and Google, we've got a lot of resources out there which I took advantage of, and I like a challenge. I like working with my hands and creating stuff like this. So yeah, I really enjoyed the process.
And you found a great parking spot for the tiny house. Can you tell me about this place?
So how I came to be here is I was looking for two things. Is one, somewhere to site my house, and also to find a bit of part-time work. And it just sort of seemed to be the best of both worlds. I've had previous farming experience, and these guys were looking for someone part-time to do some casual work on the farm. And so it's worked out really well. It's worked out for both of us. I've got a site on a farm, which I enjoy. I like being rural, and I've got work here. And from the farmer's point of view, I've turned up with my own accommodation, so it's worked well.
And it looks like you're completely off the grid with this home.
Yeah, no, that's right. It was something that was important to me, was to have the independence to be able to site pretty much wherever I wanted to, because power's generally the biggest issue. Water and other connections aren't such a problem, so yeah, I wanted to be able to be independent and not dependent on a power source, so yeah, that was part of the design.
Looks like you've actually managed to fit quite a lot of solar on the roof as well.
Yeah, I tried to get the maximum number of panels that I could because they stay fixed onto my roof, and when it's travelling I can fold them down against the roof for travel and still be under my maximum heights. So yeah, that was sort of the maximum I could get, and it's proving to be sufficient. It's ample for generation.
And what about rainwater collection here?
Yeah, so I've got the ability to collect water if I want to. I'm currently on a connection here, but yeah, I've set it up so that I can collect rainwater and put tanks in if need be.
And what size is the tiny house?
So it's within the road legal specs, so it's 2.5 wide and about 4.2 high with the panels down. And it's 7.2 metres in the main part of the house, and then there's a small storage sort of area on the front, so yeah.
Great size. And the cladding combination is really nice with the timber and the seal as well.
Yeah, I tried to be able to break the side of the place up because it's quite tall and boxy looking, and so I thought by having different cladding I can sort of break it up a little bit, and so we used some macrocarpa timber and the steel cladding, yeah, so I think it's worked out quite good.
It is, it looks very sharp. And you've got this great deck extension to the home as well.
Yeah, so I've made everything because it's a transportable thing, so the little deck here is modular. It's built in 3 sections that I can dismantle, and it just hooks off the front of the house, so it's quite easy to remove for transport.
Very clever. Well, you've done such a great job with the exterior of this home, and I'm very excited to see what you've done inside. Can we take a look?
Yeah, for sure. Come in.
Thank you. After you. Oh, now this looks brilliant. This home has a definite modern edge to it, but it still feels very warm and welcoming.
Yeah, like I said, I was trying to do something that was aesthetically pleasing, a nice space to be in, and yeah, no, I've been happy with how it comes up.
Yeah, it's very spacious feeling.
Yeah, I think it's the height. It's the ceiling height that you have in these little spaces that really makes a difference. compared to a conventional caravan where you're really boxed in. And that's what a comment that everyone makes is how roomy it is when they step in.
Now here in this house, you've designed it with these lovely white walls, but you've also got this beautiful timber on the floor and the ceiling. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I was keen to use timber and the combination. I like to feature the timber a little bit, and that was the part of the thinking with having the cream walls and sort of make the timber as a bit more of a feature. So yeah, up in the ceiling there, I've got Japanese cedar, which has just got a lot of grain and knots and character to it, so, which I really like. And then on the floors, I also wanted a solid timber floor. So this is an Australian hardwood, a eucalypt timber, and yeah, it's working really nice. I like the way it's come up.
And immediately upon entering the home, we're in this very comfortable lounge area. Can you talk to me about how all this is done?
I've done a lot of designing building in the construction of this, and I wanted like a combination sofa bed and storage, and so I came up with that idea there. I looked at various options, but yeah, so that's my daily sofa, but it can also pull out into a double bed.
Excellent, and it does look like you've got lots of storage in there too?
Yeah, like I've got all my winter bedding and a lot of stuff under there. There's quite a big storage area underneath, so it's worked really well.
And I see that you have found storage for the really important stuff. We've got all of the fly fishing gear up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously a keen fisherman.
Yeah, pretty keen on the trout fishing, so I've got all that, and I've got my fly tying vise here. I can tie my flies.
And of course here in Taupo, this is fly fishing country, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the attractions to come down here is the fishing and hunting, so yeah, it's a great spot.
And another thing that Taupo is known for is it does get pretty cold here during the winter, so it's great to see the sparky stove there.
Yeah, it's super efficient, and it's really cosy in here in winter. It takes very little to get this space warm, and I put a bit of time into insulating it well, and it works very well, yeah.
And behind us over here we have the kitchen, and this looks really nicely done.
Thank you.
Great to see the breakfast bar here.
Yeah, it's a space I use a lot. It's where I sit and have my meals, and I can watch telly from there, and if I'm doing stuff on my laptop or tying flies or doing whatever, that's my little workspace, so yeah, it works good.
Excellent. Now just looking at this kitchen, I can already see you've done some very clever things with the storage in here. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, for sure. So this is my pantry, these double doors here. So I've made everything so it can slide out so I can get access to stuff really easily. So down the bottom here we've got these baskets that slide out that I can store stuff in. And then up the top I have this whole area here that slides out, and so I can get to everything and the whole space is used without having to try and reach in and get stuff that's buried. So yeah, I'm finding this is working really nice for me.
Excellent.
I quite like my coffee, so it was a bit of a prerequisite in the design that I had to have the coffee station. So to get access to this, I made another slide out here so that the whole thing comes out. If I've got to top the machine up with water and I've got to fill this with beans, the grinder, then I can just slide it out and get access and pop it back in again. So yeah, that's the coffee machine.
Now that is brilliant. You really can see how well thought out this whole space is. And another thing that I notice is not one bit of MDF, which I'm so happy to see.
Yeah, no, I've got a bit of a thing with MDF, and these wet areas that it always gets wet and blows up and disintegrates in time, and I built this for myself, hopefully long term, and I wanted to use quality materials. So the bulk of this cabinet work's all birch plywood, 18mm birch ply, which is structurally very strong, and it's going to last and it can handle a bit of moisture, so yeah.
Absolutely, what a great touch. I really like the bamboo benches in here as well.
Yeah, I wanted a sort of a timber lock top, and bamboo is just so durable. The only previous experience I've had is with chopping boards and that sort of thing, but they're just really tough, and I've been really happy. I think I quite like the look of it, and it's been in here for 14 months now, and it's standing up really well. It's really good. And then to extend bench space, I've also got a little pull out here that I can put in as my chopping board, so I've just made that to fit into the sink, and that extends my bench space, and I do all my cutting on here so I'm not damaging my main bench top, and I've still got a sink beside it, so it's working really well.
Excellent. I see you've got all of the necessary appliances in here as well.
Yeah, it was another thing that was important to me, was to have full-size appliances and not be mucking around with small fridges and small spaces like a conventional caravan. And so yeah, I've got my full-size fridge freezer, which is ample storage for me for food, and I've got my microwave, and yeah, we talked about the coffee gear, and I've got a dishwasher, and then I have my little gas stove.
And running everything off of the solar, how do you find that?
Yeah, because of the system that I went with, yeah, I find I've got ample power and it's sufficient to run a lot of these devices simultaneously, which is really good. So I pretty much just operate as if you had a grid connection. Yeah, it's really good.
Now going back to the storage for a minute, I see under the floor here you've got another little compartment. Can you talk to me about this?
Yeah, so I thought it would be good in the construction of the trailer to design that in right from the get-go. So I got the guys, when the trailer was constructed, to allow for it. And there's a fair bit of waste space in between the axles on the trailer that wasn't going to get used, and it's got plenty of ground clearance when you're towing it. So I thought, yeah, it was good to utilise it, and it's worked really well.
And is that your bathroom tucked behind there?
Yeah, that's it. Just behind that sliding door, that's the bathroom.
Great, let's take a look. Oh, now this is very nice. I especially like how you've hidden the washing machine into the cavity there.
Yeah, washing machine's quite bulky. I've gone with a full-size 8 kg washer, and they take up a lot of space if you try to include them in a little room like this. So I've popped that out into my front storage area and made an insulated box and put it flush, and it's just going to be so much more room in here.
Very, very tidy. Nature's Head composting toilet there as well?
Yeah, that was another part of the off-grid living, is that I wanted to be independent and not have to have a sewage connection. So the composting just seemed to be like the best solution, and it's working well. Great
size basin and vanity too?
Yeah, so that's my combination bathroom vanity basin, and it's also like my laundry tub. So I've got enough size there that I can actually wash a pair of boots or do stuff in there too. So yeah.
Yeah. Great size shower?
Yeah, it's pretty much a full-size shower, 900 by 900, and having the curved design with the sliding doors, it means I've got no openings coming out into the space. So yeah, no, it's good.
I really like how you've used the Aqualine in here as well.
Yeah, I like the product because it's a fully waterproof sort of cladding, and it's just really easy to keep clean and wipe, and it looks nice. It's sort of, they're using the white colour, it lightens it up in here, and it's good, yeah.
And then upstairs we must have your sleeping loft.
Yeah.
Great, can we take a look?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, now this is a very comfy looking space.
Yeah, it's not overly high, but I just find I can just come in and crawl into bed, and I've got a really nice comfy mattress, and it's great.
I'm a taller guy as well, and I actually find sleeping lofts to be really cozy.
Yeah, I like it. I don't have any problem at all with the space, and I've built really good ventilation into the space with 4 opening windows, 2 on each side, and so yeah, I can get plenty of air, and it's a nice space.
Lots of clothes storage up here as well?
Yeah, so I built that cabinet. That's actually a separate cabinet that's removable, because obviously I had to get this bed up here. So the bed came up first, and then I can lift that unit into place and screw it down. And yeah, there's plenty of storage. I've got all my clothes there.
And up here as well, you really get to enjoy the timber ceiling.
Yeah, no, you're looking right at it. So it's it's nice to have a nice feature.
And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
I've been here about 14 months now.
Great. And how are you adapting to tiny house life?
Yeah, fine. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not really wanting for anything. I spend a lot of my time outdoors with my work and with my sporting activities and that. So unless the weather's really bad, I'm actually outdoors a lot. So it's really good.
Yeah. Especially having achieved this as a DIY project, you must have a tremendous sense of accomplishment tied up in this home.
Yeah, there's a lot of satisfaction to have been able to do it myself, and I know how it's built and know what went into it. So yeah, it's another added thing, I guess, doing it yourself. I like working with my hands, I like making things, and I've done a lot of that my whole life, where my father encouraged me with woodworking and taught me a lot of my skills initially, and we've just been that way inclined, where if we need things, we tend to make things ourselves, and so I've come from that background. Yeah, it's very satisfying to have been able to do something yourself. The downside is I see all my flaws and my little mistakes, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist by nature, so I pick up on that. But yeah, I think I've achieved that design philosophy of creating a nice space. I've been happy with it.
And can you talk to me about the budget that was involved in realising this?
Yeah, so I probably, like most projects, went over the budget a little bit, but I anticipated it would cost me around $80,000 to do what I wanted, and that blew out probably closer to $100,000. There's a big component of that is the solar, because there's about $25,000 tied up in solar. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how it came out given the materials I've used.
Absolutely. I think that is a brilliant result, especially when you can really see the quality of everything in here.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result for the cost.
And so what does the future hold for you now?
Yeah, well at present I'm really happy here. It's working well and I'm enjoying my stay here. But because it's easily relocatable, I've got options. I can pretty easy uproot and go elsewhere and do other things. So yeah, that's good. It teaches you that you just don't need too much in life. I mean, that's the main thing. It's this whole downsizing lifestyle. That's what a lot of it's about. And so for me, yeah, life's changed a lot because I was living in a conventional, bigger sized home and had a busy lifestyle. And now I've downsized. It's just simplified things so much. You know, I've got a lot less expenditure. It's a cheap lifestyle and living out rurally, which I enjoy. And yeah, it's a great lifestyle.
Well, Mark, you really have done such a tremendous job with the build of this home. Thank you very much for sharing it with me.
Thank you.
This is a home that has been exquisitely thought through. Everywhere you look, you can see the quality of both the materials and the craftsmanship that have gone into building this home, but also the sheer amount of thought and consideration that has gone into ensuring that each and every inch of this home really works. There really is no question that Mark has done a tremendous job here.